Hello everyone, it's great to be with you today.
I would like to speak to you about the Synod, and most especially the Synod document, Enlarge the Space of Your Tent. This document is a summary of the consultation process that took place at the end of 2021 throughout the church, throughout the world. And so the document that we have in front of us now is a summary, if you like, of all the ideas, the thoughts, the challenges, the difficulties, the hopes, the dreams of our Catholic brothers and sisters throughout the world. And this summary, this document, Enlarge the Space of Your Tent, is given to us to read, to pray over, and to reflect on. And then the Holy Father, Pope Francis, would like us to respond, to send back to Rome our thoughts about what we have heard others say. And so this video requires that we reflect a little bit on that document. Now I know not everyone will have read the document. It's about 45 pages. It is easy reading, but I suppose many of us haven't had the time to go through it, haven't seen it. So the aim of this little video is to give you the main points. And at the end, I would like that you respond to what you have heard. And we'll talk about that at the end. So what's in this document, Enlarge the Space of Your Tent? Well, firstly, I think it's a really very honest document. It tells both the positives of the synodal consultation process, as well as the negatives, the challenges. I don't want to harp or focus on the negative, the challenges, but I think we should know some of them. First of all, it became clear that there is opposition or apathy, perhaps, to the synodal process. Not just amongst lay people, but amazingly also amongst the clergy, priests and bishops. There is also clearly a divide between lay people and clergy. We're not always on the same page, and the consultation process showed that sometimes the relationship isn't positive. Okay, I think that's enough for the negative. Let's look at the positive. The positives were that most of the people, just about everybody who participated around the world in that consultation process in 2021, remember we did too, enjoyed participating. They loved the fact that the church was asking them what they felt, what they thought, asking their opinion. And they were so happy to be able to voice what they felt about the things in the church. And so the whole process of listening, of talking together, of praying together, of trying to discern the Spirit speaking was really very positive. And that came out clearly and is reflected in this document. Other things that are of special importance as we make our way through this document. The first is that many people felt that the church has become enclosed, too inward looking. There is a real need for us to be outward looking, to be concerned about especially the poor, the suffering, the hurting, those whom Pope Francis say are on the periphery. Many Catholic brothers and sisters felt that the church had grown lukewarm or really very poor in its mission to the world, both helping and proclaiming the gospel. Over and over again, it became clear as I made my way through this document that many people feel the church has not been true to its mission to go out into the world, to proclaim the gospel. We have become, as Father James Mallon would say, too concerned with maintenance. And so the document reminds us of what we're essentially about. Other things that came out include feelings among many people that they're not valued in the church, that they're not participating as they should be. Groups like LGBTQ+, perhaps those who are in marriages or families where there are other faiths. Women also felt that they were excluded, that they weren't invited to participate as fully as they should be. Also, people who felt that their cultural expression and living their culture was at odds with the Catholic Christian culture, and so they also felt excluded. Many homeless people, and this came out in the report for the Archdiocese of Durban too, because we consulted with the Dennis Hurley Centre. Many homeless people, many people who are refugees felt that they didn't always find a welcome in the church, that they weren't asked to participate with their gifts. Sometimes people even went as far as trying to exclude them, to send them out. And so participation, and full participation, active involvement by all Catholics is certainly an area that needs looking at. Related to that is, of course, also participation in our liturgies. And we know that many people feel they are excluded from the Eucharist for various reasons. And people around the world felt that we needed to look at that. We needed to consider how we could include people more. It is interesting to see that this document challenges us in ways perhaps that make us a little uncomfortable. And maybe that's why there is opposition to the Synod. Another area that came out over and over again in this document is the organization, the structure of the church. We know the structures of the church. It's very hierarchical, isn't it? Many people felt that this was not fit for purpose. It didn't work so well in the modern world. It didn't help or encourage our work of evangelization, especially when there were problems surrounding good, effective, vibrant, passionate leadership. And so we need to look at leadership. We need to look how leaders are developed and grown in the church, and how we can organize our structures so as to be more effective in our work of spreading the gospel. Dear friends, as we listen to what our brothers and sisters are saying, we're asked to reflect and pray about it. But we're asked then to voice out what we feel. As we listen to these things, as we read the document, what do we feel? What do we immediately feel about what we hear or what we read? What is our basic intuitions? Are we positive? Are we negative? Would we like to help, or do we want to give up? What resonates with us here in South Africa? What's similar? What's different? And so to look at the positives and the negatives, and to see what works for us and what doesn't. So the first question we're asked is, what do we feel when we hear about this? The second is, what do we really disagree with? What do we think, no, that's not a problem or an issue for us here in South Africa? And what do we think, yes, we also could agree with that? So things we disagree with and things we agree with. And then the third thing this document asks us to do is to see what we would prioritize, what we see as the most important issues coming out, what we've heard of? And how can we respond? What can we do? What is our action in light of this? Dear friends, I hope you will spend some time reflecting on this and write your thoughts. It's really important. You're welcome to use the email below to send your thoughts, your ideas, based on those 3 questions to me. The email for that appears now at the bottom of the screen. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you all. Bye-bye.